Hello Year 4 and welcome to Maths Lessons. So my name is Mrs Aston and I am going to be running your maths lessons over the next few weeks or days depending on how long you're off school for. And you may have met me already if you've done some of our English lessons, but I work at Southampton Hospital School usually. We teach children who are in hospital or who are at home and not well enough to go to school. So that's my usual job, and you all usually go to your usual schools, but they're all within the Hamwick Trust. So that's why we're sharing these videos between schools. Let's have a look and see what we're going to be doing over the course of the next few weeks. So this is lesson 1 of 10 lessons that we're going to be doing together. You can see here, if you've done the English lesson, you already have met him. This is Splash or Sloth. He's in lots of the sessions where we've got a rainforest theme. And this is the overview of what we're going to be doing over the course of the next 10 sessions. So it's a unit on place value. You've probably already done some place value in your schools already. So we're going to be reinforcing some of the things that you did, because it's really important that you're really fluent with place value, because it is the basis of everything we do in maths. So we're going to be looking at 4-digit numbers and their values. We're going to be representing numbers in different ways. We're going to be partitioning. We're going to be doing some rounding. We're going to be ordering and comparing numbers, adding on and taking more or less of 1, 10, 100 and 1,000, and we're going to be solving some place value problems. And there's going to be different bits of work. So some of it's going to be quite straightforward and you should be able to whiz through it. Others are going to be a bit more challenging. It might take you a bit longer to do. And there's going to be some extra challenges as well if you're a really good mathematician and you like to get your head really involved in some number work. So that's our plan for the next 10 days. Let's see what we're going to be doing today. So today we're focusing on 4-digit numbers and representing those in different ways. And we're going to start each session with a little game, a warm-up game or activity that gets our minds into maths. But before we do that, you need to check what you need for today. So today, and for most lessons, it's going to be very similar. So you're going to need a pencil, your maths book, or some plain paper or some squared paper if you've got it, and a different coloured pen or pencil for marking, because we're going to go through the answers at the end of the session so that you know whether you've got them right or not. So that's the plan for today. If you haven't got those things already, press pause now and go and get them. Otherwise, we're going to get started. So we're going to do an activity today that uses Deans, and I'm hoping, or base 10 some schools call it, and hopefully in your schools you've worked with these. So mine are yellow on the screen. You can see that I've got some red ones, but these are yellow ones. So these are worth 1. Okay, so they're worth ones or units, some schools call them. We've then got some sticks, and they're made up of 10 of these, all in a row, and you can see they've got little lines on them, cutting them up into 10 pieces. So these are worth 10. So when we count these, they're going to go into the tens column of our number. And then you can see on the screen we've got some blue, mine are blue as well, which is helpful. We have got some hundreds, and you can see they're split up into 100 of these little ones. So when you see one of these, it's worth 100. Rather than having to count out 100 of these, we pick up one of these. And we're going to play a little basketball game just with 3-digit numbers to start off with, because I think you've probably done 3-digit numbers quite a lot and should be quite confident with those. Okay, so we're going to be playing this little basketball game and seeing if you can work out which basket should be going into the basket hoop. So let me share my screen and we can have a look at this game and see if you can have a go at it now. So here we go. Let's make sure we've got the right bit up. Here we are. And we're going to be having a go at this basketball game. So have a look at that for a second. Okay, look at what we've got there. So you've got to we're going to start off. Let's have a little look at the ones. Can you have a count? How many ones are there? Okay, and that's going to be the digit on this far end here, isn't it? So how many ones are there? Then check the tens. How many tens are there? Which one of these balls is it going to be? And then check the hundreds. I'm going to do the first one with you. So let's have a look. We have got, let's have a look, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be a number that starts with 400. So it's not going to be this one. It's going to be this one, or this one. Let's have a look at the tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So it's going to have a 4, then a 7. So it's got to be this one, I think. Let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 477. So this is the one that's going to be shot to our net. There we go. Right, I'm not going to help you this time. Have a look. How many hundreds? How many tens? How many units? What is the number altogether that needs to go in our ball? So is it 114? Is it 117? Is it 113? Or is it 213? It's definitely going to have a 3 on the end. I can see that. And I've only got 100, so it's going to be this one. Did you get the right one? 113. Here we go. In the net. Now the basket scored. Okay, what about the next one? Which one? Can you point on the screen? Which one of those balls do you think needs to go into that net? I can see 100. I can see 10, 20, 30, 40. Which one is it? It's that one. Did you get it right? In we go. Well done. Let's have a look at the next one. Look at the hundreds. Can you rule any of those baskets out? Look at those tens. Can you point to which one it is? It was 397. In we go. Right, let's have another go. Which one are we going? Which one's going in this time? Have a look. Count the hundreds, count the tens, count the ones. Which is the right one? Did you get it? Well done if you got it. Oh, this one's a big one. Have a look. How many hundreds have we got? Got 2 at the end. It's going to have a 2 on it. Which one are you going for? Which one is it? Is it that one? Yes, well done. Okay, last one for us to try. Have a go. Look at the hundreds. Look at the tens. Look at the ones. Which one's the right answer? Have a look. We're going to be careful with these at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's ending in a 9. 400. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 479. There we go. Right, good start. So we've started to think about numbers. We've got some in our head. That's a good start, isn't it? We're going to have a look now and see what we're going to be doing for the main part of our lesson today. So for the main part of our lesson today, we're going to be thinking about 4-digit numbers. So I'm hoping that those 3-digit numbers were relatively straightforward for you. If they aren't, don't worry, because we're going to go through those 4-digit numbers now and see how we can put them together and make it nice and easy. So we're going to be using this, base 10 or Deans, and this is the one we haven't looked at yet. This is made up of these. So let's think about the relationship to start off with. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a moment. So we started with these tiny ones. 10 of these made one of these, didn't it? Then 10 of these made one of these, or 100 of these, because our number system works in base 10, doesn't it? So these are the ones, these are the tens, these are the hundreds, and then we have our thousands. So 10 hundreds make 1,000, or 1,000 of these make one of those. And I'm hoping that you've used that apparatus in school before. And what I'm going to, it's really hard for me to hold lots of different bits up, and I've tried doing it on the table and it just doesn't work. In school, it would be really nice if we could actually do that practically, but unfortunately we can't. So I've managed to find this whizzy little package on the computer that holds it on the screen and shows you them. So I'm hoping that you will be able to see it a bit easier if I do it like this, okay? So you can see here, I've got my thousands, I've got my hundreds, here, I've got my tens. Let's bring some tens over. And I've got some units. And I can multiply these to make lots of them like this. Look, I've got some down here as well. So you can see, and I can spread them out so it makes it easier to count them if I want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the base 10 or Deans. Some 10's what you call it in your school. And we're going to count how many of each we've got, and we're going to record the number. And we're going to record the number in digits. That means using numerals. and we're going to record it in words. Okay, so we're going to record it 2 ways. So let's have a look. We're just going to be looking at the ones that are in this section here. And you can see here I've got a flip chart. So I'm going to record the number on my little flip counters. And you can see on my flip counters, if I move it a bit closer to you, we have got the columns, labels. We've got thousands, hundreds, tens and ones. If you want to, if you find it easier, in your maths book, when you're writing the answers to these, you can actually draw that into your maths book. So you can have your 4 columns like this, and you can have ones here, tens here, hundreds here, and thousands here. So you can label it with the numbers if you want to, or we sometimes label it with the first letter of each one to help us remember which one's which. And sometimes some schools call this units and some schools call this ones. So you use whichever name you use in your school, okay? And we're going to be recording some of these numbers. So let's have a look. We're going to do one together to start off with, and then you're going to have a turn and do some yourself. So I'm going to start looking at our thousands, and our thousands, there are 2 of them. So in my thousands column, I'm going to write the number 2, or on my flip chart, I'm going to put the number 2. Then we're going to look at the hundreds, which is our blue squares here. And we have got 1 of those, so we're going to have 100. Then we are going to look at our 10 sticks, and we've got 2 of those, so that's 20. So we're going to put a 2 in the tens column. And then we have to count all these little ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the number we have got is 2,129. So you're going to write that number in your books in digits like that. And then underneath, you're actually going to write that number in words. Okay, so if we have a look at this one now, so I might have written it in my grid that I've drawn in my book to help me if I wanted to, 2,129. I might write it again down here, 2,129. And we have a comma or a space, depending on how books are set out. Sometimes you might see a comma in between the thousands and the hundreds, and sometimes they just leave a slightly bigger space to show you, so they group each set of 3 digits together. And then we're going to write in words 2,129. Okay, 29, like that. Okay, and we've got the answer in 2 different ways, in numerals, in digits, and in words. Right, should we have another couple of goes and see how we get on with that? And then you can have a go by yourselves. So let me create a new number. Here it is. More of these over here. Isn't that big? Here we go. More of these over here. Get rid of some of those. Okay, let's have a look at our number. So in your book, can you have a look at that now? Can you work out what that number is? So let's do it together and see if you can do it. So in the thousands column, 1, 2, 3. So the first number you're going to write is the number 3. And that digit is going to go first in our number because we're doing our 4-digit numbers today. So we're going to write the number 3. Then we're going to have a look at the hundreds, 100, 200, 300, 400. So we're going to write a 4 in our hundreds column. Then we're going to have a look at our tens, 10, 20, 30, 40. So we have got 4 tens, which is worth 40. And then we're going to count our ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6. We're going to remember to put our comma in here to separate it, make it easier for us. 3,400. And in here, between the hundreds and the tens, we usually use the word and. So 3,446. And often we put these 2 digits together because it's a 46, or sometimes it's a teen number, isn't it? So they work together, those last 2 digits. So we've got 3,446. And we're going to write that in digits and in words. Right, let's have one more go together, and then you're going to have a go on your own. So let's have a look. Got quite a few of these now. Here we are. Spread them out so you can see them. I'm going to add in a few more of those. Okay, have a go. So ignore the ones in this corner over here. We've got here. This is the first number you're going to write. This is the next number. This is the next number. And then your final number. You need a bit longer. Press pause and have a go. And then we'll come back and we'll have a look. So what did you get? How did you get on? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4 thousands. So we're going to start with the number 4. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tens, making 60. It's going to go in the tens column, and 1, 2, 3, 4 ones, and we're going to put a comma in. And what does that number say? So it says this is in the thousands, isn't it? Hundreds, tens, and ones or units. 4,464. 4,464. Right. Are you ready to do some by yourself? Let's have a go. I think you can. I am pretty confident that you'll be able to do this. So here are some questions for you. Okay, so you've got 3 questions here to do, and you're going to do exactly the same as we've just done. Write them in digits and write them in words. Press pause and off you go. How did you get on? Have you managed them? Let's have a look and see. You're going to mark them now. So grab your different coloured pen. If you got it right, you're going to give it a tick. If you didn't get it right, you're going to give it a little cross, and next to it, you're going to write the correct answer. Okay, so the first one, if we look at the first one, we had 2 in the thousands, 123. Pop our comma in to make it easier for us to read, and we're going to write 2,000. 100 and don't forget that word and. If you've missed out the word and, use your editing pen and pop it in. 2,100 and what these two go together to make 23. Have a check of that one now. Give that one a go. Right, let's look at number 2. What have we got there? We have 1,300. This is tricky. Be careful. There's no tens. We've got to put a 0 in. Otherwise, all our digits are in the wrong column. So it's really important. If there's nothing in one column, you've got to put a 0 in there. Okay, so hopefully that one didn't catch you out. And then we've got our ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the end. You can see if I didn't remember to put that 0 in, I'd end up with 136. And that isn't right, because I've got 1,000, I've got 300, I've got no tens, and I've got 6. So this number, hopefully in words, you've written 100, what am I talking about? 1,306. Okay, that's number 2. And let's mark number 3. We have got 3,000. This time, no hundreds. Okay, and 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double check the ones because they're quite tricky sometimes. Pop a comma in. So the number is 3,046 with no hundreds in there. Okay, 3,046. Well done. You're doing really well so far. We're going to have a look now at a slightly different way of representing numbers. So another thing that we can use in class, and you may have seen these, is these little counters. Okay, and so this number 1 counter is worth the same as this little ones cube. And this number 10, you see here, is the same as one of these. And our 100 is the same as 100 square. And our 1,000 is the same as a base 10 thousands cube. So we're going to do a very similar thing. We're going to look at what numbers we have. So let's have a look now. So I've got this on the screen rather than having this holding them up, because I end up dropping them everywhere if I try and hold them up. So we're going to have a look now at the place value counters rather than the base 10. So I'm going to pull some over. Here we go. Here's our thousands. Here's our hundreds. Here they come. Here's our tens. Here are those. And our units. So what number have we made there? What does it look like? Let's have a check. Here we go. So we have got 3,000. We've got 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Then we have got 100, 200, 300, 400. The fours going in there. Then we've got some tens. We've got 10, 20. So we've got 2 tens. And then we've got 1, 1. So we've got the number 3,421. So again, we're going to write it in digits and we're going to write it in words. Be careful again, because if I do this, we need to make sure if we have none of something that we put a 0 in that column. So we need to be really, really careful if we've got some counters missing and there's not some in one column. So here you can see we've got 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. So I'm going to write my 4,000. How many hundreds have I got? I haven't got any. 0. How many tens? 10, 20, 30. How many ones? 1, 2. 4,032. So again, we're going to have a go now at doing some of those by yourself. Okay, I know you can do them. Think carefully about what each picture represents. Okay, let's have a look at them now. And you're going to write each number in digits, and rather than writing in words this time, you're going to see if you can draw it in base 10. Okay, so what you're going to do, if I've got my 4,032, I'm going to draw 2 little cubes to represent 2 of these. Then I'm going to draw 3 sticks, 1, 2, 3, to represent the tens. Okay, if don't need any hundreds in here, but if I did need them, I would draw them as a square, and then I would draw my thousands as a bit of a cube. Don't worry if you find the cube tricky. So I'm going to write each one in numbers, in digits, and I'm going to draw it in base 10 to see if I can show that I understand the relationship between these and our counters. Okay, so this time don't have to write them in words, in digits and in deans. Okay, so there's 4, 5 and 6, and press pause, do number 4, 5 and 6. Let's check those first, and then we're going to do one final thing today before we finish. You're doing really well. So let's have a look at the first one. So the first one, number 4, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 320, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pop a comma in. Then I'm going to draw them. So I should have 8 of these. Check you've got 8 little cubes drawn. Then I should have 2 sticks for my tens. Then I should have 3 squares for my hundreds. And I should have 4 cubes for my thousands. And that's what that one looks like in deans. Can you see that? Okay, the next one, number 5, the number you should have written. Okay, let's have a look at it. Oh, there's some missing. This was a tricky one. So this time we've got 6,000. We've got no hundreds. We have got 30 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Okay, and if you were drawing it, we should have 5 little cubes. Then we should have 3 sticks drawn. We're going to have no squares this time, and we're going to have 6 of our cubes. Okay, then number 6, the final one is 3,430, and there's no ones. So we've got to make sure we've got our 0 in. 3,430. So we're going to have no little cubes, 3 sticks. We're going to have 4 squares of our hundreds, and we're going to have 3 cubes. 3 of those. So that was using base 10 and place value to show the value of numbers with 4 digits. You've done really well today. We're going to carry on with some more of that tomorrow, and we're going to be looking at how we can represent those numbers in different ways. So hopefully you've done well today. You've done really well for your first maths lesson with me, and I'll join you again tomorrow. Well done, brilliant job today. Make sure you've marked your work, go back and have another look at the video if you missed doing the marking, and I will see you tomorrow. Well done.